This is not your car, it's my boyfriend's.
Yeah, my dad lets me drive slow on the driveway. I'm an excellent driver.
But are you sure that you drive this car?
Of course, only 28 miles on the odometer since I drove it a week ago last Saturday. Should be more than 28 miles.
Look, my boyfriend is coming.
Of course, today's Monday. I always drive the car on Saturday, never drive on Monday.
What is this? Who is this guy?
I don't know, she jumped into the car.
Yeah, we can jump out.
I'm an excellent driver.
Yeah, that's good. Come on, come on. Why'd you let him get in this car? This is not a toy.
He says he drives this car.
Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway every Saturday. Of course, the seats were originally brown leather. Now they're pitiful red.
You know, these seats were brown leather. You know this car?
I know this car.
How do you know this car?
Definitely know this car. It's 1949 Buick Roadmaster, straight 8, Fireball 8. Only 8,095 production models. Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway, but not on Monday. Definitely not on Monday.
Who's your dad?
Sanford Babbitt.
Who? Sanford Babbitt?
10961 Beachcrest Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's my address. I mean, what is it with this guy? Hey, who's your mother?
Eleanor Babbitt.
Eleanor?
Died January 5th, 1965 after a short
Who the
sudden
hell are
illness.
you?
Uh-oh.
Huh? Oh, wait a second. Where are you going?
13 minutes to Judge Wapner, the
Wapner?
People's Court.
Hold it. Wait a second here. I want to ask you a question.
But you're witnessing it real.
You're listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. The Panorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of Steel Wool, Sunshine, and Rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, episode. What episode is it?
Nice. Great start.
Oh wait, 62.
Yeah.
We don't care what episode it is. We're going to hell in the handbasket.
Off with a bang.
You know. There we go. Anyway, beyond that, I'm Dave.
Oh, hi. Hi, Dave. I'm Donna.
As if I didn't screw it up enough. There we go.
I know.
All right.
Well, I was sitting here thinking, oh, I remembered this meme that I saw, or just somebody's comment or something that said, I thought someone promised a handbasket, indicating that, we were in hell. I thought there was supposed to be a handbasket. So I was like thinking of that in my head when you were talking. All right.
Hey, you know how I'm always joking around about, I don't know, I'm always joking around about it, but back in those early days of our podcasting, I do the fake sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, and we don't have a sponsor. We've never looked for a sponsor. But by golly, if we had a sponsor, there's been 3 main products out there that I've been using through this whole COVID lockdown craziness.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a plug. And they don't have to pay us anything.
Oh,
They don't
that's
have to do
generous.
anything.
What
So,
is it?
yeah, really. My first one is pocket pens. If you haven't seen pocket pens, they're awesome.
No, I haven't.
They're pens for your pocket, which I always keep a pen on me. And probably going on a year ago now, I discovered pocket pens because, I'm always wandering around from student to student at school and always need something to write with. And I'm not a pen in the top pocket kind of guy, shirt pocket kind of guy.
Okay.
I'm pen in the pants pocket kind of guy. And the problem with that is you usually get marks all inside your pants. If you put a pen in your pocket.
Right.
Well, these have a cap on them so they're very small. And they have a cap that covers the entire thing, and then you can easily maneuver them with one hand to open them up. So anyway, over this whole COVID thing, I found out that there's a Facebook group for pocket pens.
What?
It's crazy. It's amazing. People who love pocket pens, because they have like different ones. They put different ones out. Like the guy I had contacted, the gentleman who runs the business, Terrence Davis is his name, I believe.
Okay.
And told him, hey, you should make a pocket pen for teachers. And like, boom, he put one out that had 2 apples on them. So, so it's like a limited print kind of thing. But people collect them. There'll be like American flag ones with American flag. They just did one that says exotic on it with a tiger. And people
Nice.
collect them. You remember the old guy down the street that would collect like pencils? He'd have his board of pencils in his garage. Or people who collect matchbooks. It's like that. And people are really into it. They're into posting a picture of what's in their pocket every day.
Okay, so first of all, so is it you put it in your front pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like, what do they? So on this Facebook group, they post pictures of their pens. They just talk about how much they love their pens. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
I'm sending you a picture of I posted this earlier or at a different time.
Okay.
And I got inquiries about it, so I deleted the post.
Oh. So
anyway, look at that picture.
Oh yeah, okay, I saw you post something like that.
Yeah. So they have all different colors.
You just put a sticker on that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask the guy, now that he's your buddy, did you ask him if he's going to make a Cars one?
No, he won't do a Cars one. You know what? I bet he would make some major buckos on that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, pocket pen. And then my second one is Soxy Socks.
Foxy socks?
No, Soxy with an S.
Oh, okay. Soxy socks.
It's like Alberto. The Soxy socks. They're so sexy. The Soxy socks.
Love it.
Sexy.
I draw all my women in their soxy socks.
For right now, I have the checkered Soxy socks on. So here's how I got wind of Soxy socks. I think I got wind of them on Instagram, and they were saying, hey, we want to keep paying our employees. Order something, please. And here's a 45% or a 25% or a 10% off coupon.
Okay.
And then they, if you took the 25%, they'd be able to pay for this. If you took the 45%, they'd do this or whatever. And I did it, just as a goodwill kind of thing. I thought, oh, that's very nice, trying to keep paying their employees.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. And these socks are awesome. I mean, they're comfy. They don't fall down. They are not too thick, not too thin. See, I don't like those thin socks. Sometimes when you get socks that have patterns and things on them, crazy things, they're just thin.
Yeah.
And they're dress socks. I don't like wearing dress socks. These have to have some cushion to them. And that's what these socks are.
Nice.
They're awesome. So, Soxy socks. And then finally, my personal favorite.
Wait. Don't go on yet. So, you said you got black and white checkered ones?
Yeah.
So, so they're not custom socks. They already have pre-done patterns and you just order the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they come like packages. So, the ones that I got were, I can't remember what they call them, but they're just basic colors. Red, green, purple, yellow.
Are they all checkered?
No. These are all just
Are you going to
basic
send me a picture
colors.
of your feet?
No. But checkered ones, I got those checkered ones because they sent me a coupon for a free pair.
Ah.
And I went, oh, hey, man, got to have those panorama-looking socks.
Heck yeah. So, but normally you wear colored socks? You're not just like a white tube
normally
sock?
I don't. Normally I'm like a white tube sock kind of guy.
Oh.
But then I'm like, these socks that I bought the last time I got socks just really suck. They just, I'm starting to get holes in them already, and they're just not comfortable. And I decided to try these, and I really liked them, so I made another order. So I've ordered twice from the Sock.
Nice.
Okay? Now, the last one
Okay.
came out of necessity, but it is my personal favorite. It's the Who Gives a Crap toilet paper subscription.
What? Is this a real thing, or are you kidding?
It is a real thing. And the company is Who Gives a Crap. And it's a toilet paper subscription. And I was, there's a point where you just start getting desperate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking for toilet paper subscription services. That's how I did. And it popped up. And it said that, of course, they were sold out, but you could be put on a waiting list whenever they came back in. So it took about a month and a half. And they finally said, hey, you can make an order. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try it. They're made from recycled paper,
Okay.
which first thing you think is, recycled paper on my bum? No. It's actually really good toilet paper. It's 3-ply. It's cushy.
Wow.
They've got that, and they've got the premium, which is bamboo, which I haven't tried that yet. But because you ever wonder how Panda wipes his butt? There you go.
All right.
But yeah, I got the order in. It came, and big old box of toilet paper with a label on the front. Who gives a crap? And they're all wrapped up in little individual patterned pieces of paper, which is really cool. So it looks nice. You know how crappy? Oh, no pun intended. How crappy it looks in your bathroom when you've got that extra roll of toilet paper, like sitting on top of the toilet or sitting on the counter or whatever. Well, these are wrapped up nice, and they got different designs on them. It's done really nice. Maybe I should post a picture of my Who Gives a Crap toilet paper. Yeah. As a matter of fact, all three of those things I will post links to.
Oh, good.
For this episode, because I'm sure people want to see the Pocket Pens and maybe take a look at the Pocket Posse group. That's the name of the group, Pocket Posse.
Pocket Posse.
It's so incredible, Donna. I feel like I felt kind of when I realized that there were other people out there who like the cars when the internet first came around. This is how I am about this Pocket Pen. This Pocket Pen group. It's like, because I've loved these pens for about a year, and all of a sudden there's a group on Facebook, and literally they post pictures of their EDC, which I had to look it up. Like, here's my EDC.
Yeah, what's that?
EDC, what the hell is it? When people were posting stuff, and they would typically, every person who posts their EDCs, obviously they have a Pocket Pen in there, and then they might have a little notebook, or they may have a knife. Everybody always has a knife. Some people have a gun in there. And then I looked up, it's everyday carry. What's your EDC? But it's so cool because everybody they'll put out a fashionable handkerchief or something.
Yeah.
And then set their things down very neatly on there and take a little picture of it so everybody can see what they carry in their pocket every day.
Huh.
I haven't done mine yet. I need to do that. Because every day I always carry my little peace rock that my granddaughter kissed. So it's special to me. Yeah. And, of course, my pocket pen, and I carry my knife, which is kind of disturbing since I'm a teacher. Every day I carry something that would give me an automatic 10-day suspension.
And do you have wadded up gum wrappers and paper clip and lint ball?
Tissue, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other thing that I always carry is my AirPods. I carry those with me now.
All the time?
In my pocket. Purse wallet. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
The way I justify that in my mind is if I'm somewhere and I got a call, but I'm in public. I always hate people who talk on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
When they're, in the store or whatever.
Right.
And the thing I don't like is they usually put it on speaker because you can't keep it up to your ear if you're in the grocery store or whatever. So if you plug in your AirPods, then at least you have that. And it just looks like you're talking to yourself.
That's a good idea, I guess.
like the Bluetooth people, same
Right.
thing.
Right.
Yeah. So there
Wow.
you go.
Wow. Well, that's all very exciting.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Donna, is I've got something very simple as not fake sponsors, but sponsors that I wish we had or products that I really like. And I figure, that'll take like a minute and a half in the podcast. And you draw it out. I think it's my fault.
I draw it out.
Every time I try to stop you, like, you're asking questions. Tell me about this pocket pen. Tell me. Blah, 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 blah. So, hey, if people have abandoned the podcast at this point, abandoned the episode, it's on you.
It's on me. Well, I guess I just am so incredulous that I don't know. I don't know. Especially the group for the pocket pen people. I mean, that's just.
I wonder if there's a group for the Soxy people.
No, I'm
I
sure
need to look that up.
There just might be.
And if there is, I am going to definitely introduce them to Alberto Park.
Ooh, yes, the Soxy socks. I just think maybe people have a lot of extra time on their hands. Well, I was going to ask you, how long is the pocket people? No, pocket Benjamin? No,
pocket pen.
Pocket pen people group. How long has that been around? I mean, is it because people are like, we have nothing to do?
I don't know.
Huh.
Well, it's weird. I think it's a community. I think people in there have probably similar jobs, contractors or security, teachers, things like that. But it's a common interest, and people treat it as hey, good morning, buddy.
Yeah, that's
Here's
nice.
a picture of what I got in my pocket.
Well, and it's just so much, but there's so much negative stuff out there right now that those little bits of sunshine are really good to have. And I do appreciate a good pen. I'll tell you that right now. So I just from the writing aspect, I'll check it out.
What's that? Why don't you let me send you a couple?
Well,
I'll just send you.
Dave, you don't have to do that.
Well, I'll just send you a couple. I'm hoarding them.
Well, if you feel that you must.
I've given one to the kids. I'll send you a couple.
Well, thanks.
And you can, but you have to look up the Paka Posse. P-O-K-K-A.
Oh, P-O-K-K. All right. Speaking of giving stuff, I did get those. Looking at Pocket Pen. I did get those panorama stickers, the circle stickers.
Oh, cool. How'd they turn out?
They're really good. They're really good. So I'll send you a couple. Did I send you the Big People All Access Pass stickers? Did I send you any of those?
I think yes.
Do you? And you still have people you give stuff away to, yeah? Car stuff?
Sure.
Because I know you've got the little gal that you keep in touch with. Because I was thinking of her. Because I was trying to figure out how many should I send you. Like 5? Could you use 5?
No, not that many. Maybe 3.
3? Okay. And I did send you All Access Pass stickers?
I'm pretty sure you did. I have to check. I'm not in the pod den, so there you go.
Okay.
I could check right now, but.
No, it's okay. So, well, maybe I'll just tuck a couple in there. Because I know you like to give stuff away too, and when you send somebody something, it's always nice to have little bits of swag to put in there. So.
Yeah. Like when I send my threatening letters to people, I always put like a little NiGHT sticker in there.
Nice.
Listen, you Orbot piece of shit. I know I'm on to you. Oh, by the way, here's a NiGHT sticker.
I know. Check out our podcast.
Actually, yeah, here's something from Sweet Purple June. There you go. That'll take the sting off of this letter.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, have you noticed an increase in new Panorama people since Rick passed away?
Oh, yeah. Huge.
I mean, it's huge, because, all the old questions are popping up. Remember when I was talking about people that I just hide permanently?
Yeah.
And who posts this stuff like your favorite songs are hidden. But you see a lot of those.
Yes.
And like, where people put it up, oh, has anybody seen this video yet? And it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
interesting, and
I
it
know.
is annoying.
I think that you suggested the idea of doing a podcast that is sort of like a what did you call it? Like a beginner's guide, or a roadmap.
Ours
Whatever.
for dummies.
Well.
It was the Panorama Handbook, I think, is what it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Highlights.
And I think that would be a good idea because, I feel, for the most part, I feel very patient with a lot of this because I completely remember being new and everything being so amazing, and, just the discovery process of all the stuff with the cars was so exciting. And so I totally get it. And I love, for the most part, I love all of the renewed hype. And it would be good to, just point out in case, because there are certain things you've got to make sure that you've watched the entire Rock Goes to College. You've got to make sure that that Elliot had a solo album. I mean, and Greg.
9 fingers.
Huh?
And 9 fingers.
And 9. Now, see, Dave, that's going to be the tricky part, is you can't do a bunch of misleading stuff. You're going to have to actually tell the truth.
Like I do on Facebook all the time.
Yes!
Did you know Ben was an urban cowboy?
Because, there are people that try to, there's like John, and, try to set the record straight on stuff. You're the exact opposite. You're just like, phew, way over on the other side of...
It's so obviously wrong that it cracks me up when people are like, oh, really?
I know, but...
Yeah, I know. Who...
But they're...
They're
newbies, Dave. Come on.
New to me.
It's the people who just have, you're just getting into it. You just have no idea the history of the band. And so when you post something like the Urban Cowboy thing and everyone's like, wow, really? I had no idea. That's amazing. And you're just but then you don't even correct it. You don't even go through and correct it. You just let them believe that. And
the best part was Joe's comment, which is like, ugh.
He has no patience for that kind of stuff.
They're gonna ask me why that wasn't in my fucking book.
Exactly.
You could have written a chapter on that, man.
Why did that get left out?
Why?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we'd have to have some guidelines there, Dave. Or I'll just have to have like a buzzer. So whenever you go down some primrose path of a lie, then I'll just be like, huh? Not true.
We could just have like a what do you call that?
You could be like, true or not true.
Yeah, you could do a crossover with CNN or Snopes, like they do for Trump. And like, can I say something? That is not true. And just add it in later.
Well, or we could have the episode be called "Spot the Lies" and just publish it, and then in the group,
have Lizzie and Nick do their voiceovers after the episode, just so you can hear Nick saying, "That is not true," in his little Kermit voice.
Yes. Oh man, we could do all sorts of stuff with this idea. I'm digging it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a good idea for the next episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of Panorama, our friends, the Dark Lord, I got a message. I won't say who it's from because maybe they don't want me to say, but they had included an eBay listing of the Dark Lords.
Oh.
And he's put up some. Everybody must be in hard times. I don't think Elliot Easton is though. He's putting a lot of stuff up for auction or sale. But
wait, stop. Those auctions, like the one that Brett shared, those are from like 2014. Those were old. I mean, if you look in the description and stuff, it's those are from a few years ago. In fact, I think that Telecaster that Brett shared, I think was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I keep meaning to go back and look at that, but yeah, those are from a few years ago. So, okay, carry on.
Whenever I see those kind of auctions from big time auctions, Elliot Easton's, stocks, Rick Ocasek's, coat. So I just figured that Kurt bought them already.
Oh yeah.
Kurt or Eric.
Yeah, they might.
They're the only two guys in the whole country who buy that stuff. Actually go, $2,000 for some socks? Yeah, I'll buy it. Yeah.
Just bidding against each other.
Damn. Okay, so the Dark Lord has listed a Candio album autographed on eBay. And what this person was telling me was that he originally had it for $500 and something, which is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
And I don't know how legit it is. I don't know if that's something that he got in person or if it's something that came his way. Who knows with that guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
All the signatures look good as far, but
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess that people were questioning the legitimacy
Right.
of the signatures or whatever. So in order to show how legitimate it was, he had bumped the price up double.
What?
So now it's like $1,462.50 plus $20 shipping.
You're kidding me.
This person thought that was kind of funny and then he go through, you remember how he did with the cloisonne pins where he listed about who can bid and who can't. He had all that in there. And then he had comparative pricing for other autographed items to justify his increase in price.
You're kidding. Are there comparable? I've never seen an autographed album by the Cars for $1,500.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He'd be the first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's got a set on him.
He does.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah. Good segue.
Is it?
Candio out.
Oh, Candio, yeah.
Autograph.
I'm just sitting here stunned. Like, I just can't
Which
believe
brings
it.
us. I know, it's crazy. Which brings us to our topic this evening.
Yes. Candio.
Monitor mixes. This is a good one for our new people in the Fanorama.
Yeah, I
What are the
agree.
monitors? What are monitor mixes?
This is one of your pet topics too, I think. I mean, I know this is close to your heart, and rightfully so. You have
I like to
a
gripe
connection.
about.
You like to gripe. Well, yeah, that's true. You do.
Yeah.
But you have a good connection with these monitor mixes, and maybe you can take a page from the Dark Lord and find a way to somehow eBay your experience. I don't know how you do that, but you could take a picture of yourself holding the monitor mixes and then autograph it and then list it on eBay.
That'd be great.
I think you should think about
So
that.
as far as monitor mixes, as I recall, you put a very good blog post on your blog. Hey, did you know Donna has a blog about what monitor mixes are?
Yes. Should I?
As a matter of fact, there's a dude who's actually sending you to your blog, sending people to your blog for an explanation of the background of the monitor mixes.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that nice?
Willfully obscure, yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice of him. And I did, in fact, I stumbled across that because all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of readers on the blog. I can look at my stats and stuff, and it'll tell me where people are coming from, Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And there was a whole bunch of them coming from that blog. So I went and was like, what's up with this? I went and looked at it and then read his article and stuff and just thought it was really nice that he was putting people my way. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I wrote the article, about it's called Candio and the Monitor Mix-Up. I actually wrote that a little over 3 years ago now, Dave. But I remember it being one of the early projects that I worked on in terms of longer articles for the blog. But I spoke with Kirk Johnston, our good friend Kirk Johnston, about what monitor mixes were, because I didn't understand. And even as I explain this for this episode, I am not a musician. I've never been in a recording studio. I don't, I'm just coming as a layman. So I talked to Kirk about it quite a bit and tried to get him to help me understand how it all worked. And so I did detail that in the article. But basically, a monitor mix is like an early run through, early recording of all of the songs in the studio, and every band member's parts are recorded on separate microphones. So, for example, Elliot has a vocal microphone and he has a microphone for his guitar. Ben has a vocal microphone, he has a separate microphone for his bass, and David has, several for each piece of his drum kit. And all of those recordings are channeled into their own, on their own track.
Well, Greg had one for his keyboards, one for his vocals, and one for his sock puppet. I'd like to sing along.
I'd like to sing
little dragon sock puppet.
Oh. So anyway,
turn the level up.
Rick, put that damn thing down. Get to work. Okay, so they would record. They'd each have these microphones, and those are all recorded on their own track or on their own channel. And then the producer and the engineers, they can play back the recordings into the headphones for each band member that is laying down their parts. So going back to Elliot, for example, when he's ready to work on his solos and do his part, Roy Thomas Baker and whoever the engineers were can create a unique mix for Elliot to listen to into his headphones that are the parts that he needs to hear the most in order to play his guitar parts or his leads. And they can customize it then for each member of the band to play back. So it's just a mix that they then use to perfect the songs.
Yeah. So, essentially it's a dry run of playing their instruments so they can get the levels on the different elements of the song. And it also aids in actually recording the song so that they can play back those parts and play along with them and so forth.
Right. And then I think that, as we go through and listen to it, of course, any of the early demos or any early recordings before you get to vinyl are steps in the evolution process. And so I always, think of them playing back the mixes and thinking, okay, well, this needs to be, this should be a little in the background, or we need another layer there, or, whatever. They use it, can use it to tweak to tweak and perfect the song itself. So they went to Cherokee Studios in February of 1979. It took them 14 days to record the whole album, as opposed to 12 for the debut album.
Which would have included doing the monitor mixes,
right?
Too, correct?
From what I understand, it's from when they got to the studio to when they packed up and left was 14 days. Little fun. I
wonder if Greg put up a tent.
Well, I was just going to say, the little fun factoid, they lived in the Sunset Marquis Hotel in LA during that time. And Elliot said, I think in the liner notes for the expanded edition of Candio, that he can remember staying up late at night in his hotel room working on his solos, because they usually recorded his solos last. And so, and also at Cherokee, they normally had a 24-channel monitor console, but when they recorded for Candio, Roy Thomas Baker brought in his own 40-track machine, which was unusual at that time. That was a fairly, of course, technologically advanced piece of equipment, and Roy had it brought in to record Candio. So there you go.
Very cool. And so the way these monitor mixes came about in the Panoramas, first of all, let's take a look at the name, the Candio monitor mixes, or Candio monitor mix. You know, I'm not for sure on this, but it's kind of my thought process that, you know, your average fan doesn't know what a monitor mix is.
Right.
It's just the name they picked up to say, okay, these are the demos, the monitor mixes. You know, these are tapes, reel-to-reel tapes. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's probably a certain percentage of our listening fan base here that has no idea what reel-to-reel tapes are. You know, the big round recording tapes, mm-hmm. and tape would spool in between those. Well, that's what these were. These were gigantic, probably about 18 inches diameter, and they were the master. Well, I wouldn't say the master tapes, but they were the monitor mix tapes. This mm-hmm. is how they recorded them. Okay, so on the case for the monitor mixes, the cases are these gigantic Scotch tape cases, and they're like a tannish, yellowish kind of color, but on the front of it is the label, and on the label it has the artist, Cars, client, Electra, engineer, Jeff Workman.
Oh, there you go.
The date, 2/27/79. Roy Tom Baker is the producer.
Roy Tom
and
period Baker.
Yes. And then on the program, it says monitor mixes. So where these came from was a person in the Panorama saw them listed on eBay. And I think you go into this in your article, but essentially these were still tapes that when Cherokee went out of business or whatever, they had a tape library of things like these monitor mixes, and I think somebody got their hands into them. I can remember the person in the Panorama telling me that at the time that he bought these off of eBay, that there was also ones that were much higher priced for Led Zeppelin. Wow. So I know Led Zeppelin maybe did one or two albums there, and they had Elvis, because he had done. So there's a lot of, and the Stones, a lot of top groups recorded at Cherokee, and these monitor mixes were just stored there. Like, they didn't take them with them,
Wow.
So this person in the Panorama bought these tapes, and, nobody has a big-ass reel-to-reel
right.
to play. He had no idea what he had. All he knew was they were listed as demos for the Cars Candio album, and I don't know how much he paid, maybe $150.
Wow.
At the time, 200, 300, something like that. And boom, there it was. But here he is with these gigantic reel-to-reels. So what he did was he ended up taking it to I think the only recording studio he could find close to him, and asked them to digitize them and to put the tracks onto a CD.
Okay.
A master CD. And I can remember him posting about when he took those tapes in, and there was a couple people in the studio, and then putting them on and blasting it up, and everybody was just digging what they were hearing, And but the end result was him getting these 2 reel-to-reel tapes transferred over into CD. So when he approached the Panorama about these, here's what he was wanting to do. He had to pay a hell of a lot more to get the reel-to-reels transferred or digitized and put on a CD. And then he had to pay for the reels themselves. Mm. He was wanting just to recoup his money.
Right.
So he was willing to share them with anybody as long as they paid, obviously, for the CD and for shipping or whatever. His interest was making his money back that he had spent on getting them put on CD.
Which makes
so that's
sense.
how
Yeah.
he went about it.
Have people pitch in to kind of help cover the cost of that.
Yeah. So that's how it started, and it came off the Frozen Fire email list like a lot of stuff did. And like anything that is out there like that, somebody's got to, fuck it up.
Of course.
and take their recordings that they got from him and start duping them off and making money on eBay with them.
Right.
So that's where things just kind of fell apart. But, I think I had two different copies that he had made off the master. One that I got originally, and one that when I connected back up with him in later years, he sent to me just because he had extras. So that's how the monitor mixes were out there. People were aware of them, and you got them by saying, "Hey, would you make me a copy of these?"
Okay.
Sure, send me a blank CD, and they'd send it to you. And you'd make it for me, send it back to them, with a couple bucks for ship, or like $1.
Right.
Because at that time you could easily send a CD for $1. And that's just how it went. As the internet opened up and people were, putting files to download and so forth on the internet, then they kind of made their way more onto be able to be downloaded, and less of these eBay hackers that were saying, "Hey, get a picture of the cars for $20, and with every picture you buy, you get a free CD copy of the Candio monitor mixes." Which is how around the legal part of it.
Right.
But so that's kind of the background of the monitor mixes. And can you get them today? I haven't seen any physical copies on CD, or I should say bootlegs, on eBay for quite some time. If you Googled Candio monitor mixes, you probably see 4 or 5 places where you could do a torrent download or whatever and see them. A good place to hear them is on YouTube.
Of course.
Because our good friend Tracy has a playlist of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put a link to that in there in our show notes and so forth. But that's a good, great place to listen to them. But as far as downloading and so forth, I know that Willfully Obscure blog had a link to where you could download them or, get a torrent for them or whatever.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should share that link too.
Yeah, I'll share that. I'll share that blog post link. Okay. So that's where they came from. And, I think we went through so many years, Donna, of not really understanding what we were listening to. But people just kind of simplified it in their minds as, these are just demos. These are the demos for the songs, and there you go. But the thing that flipped out everybody so much was how good a quality these are.
Right.
I just think it just goes to show you how awesome Ray Thomas Baker is, that he could put out demos that they average about a 9 out of 10 on quality ratings.
Right.
I've seen.
Well, and just how polished the cars are. I mean, they're just doing a dry run through and they're killing it. They're just awesome.
Yep.
The Cars did record a demo of Candio prior to going to Cherokee Studios. They recorded at Northern Studios with Bill Reisman. And I think on the Candio Expanded Edition, a couple of those Northern Studios recordings are on there. Seems like there's other ones out there, but I don't know that the whole set has been released of the Northern Studio demos. And these monitor mixes I think are better than the Northern Studio demos too.
Yeah, definitely quality-wise. And what was really cool during that time was, everybody was wanting their CD of the monitor mixes,
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody says, man, I need a cover for this CD, yo. Everybody wants the cover. And I've probably seen about 3 different Vargas inspired covers made for the monitor mixes. The one that I always knew was just what I had, which was a Xeroxed copy of the actual tape cases.
Yeah.
And what blew my mind, because it's years, like at least 10 years of just seeing this black and white, one case only copy. And then when I finally, saw those in person, it was just incredible to see this writing and stuff that I'd only, seen a certain way in color.
Mm-hmm.
and how big it was and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So that's the cover I've always gone with for mine. Are the actual tape cases. But some people like to do it upright and get their Vargas art in there. And I've seen one cover that's just like a negative image of the actual Candy-O cover, and then the monitor mixes under there. There's another one that somebody made for us. I can't remember who, but I don't know if this is an actual Vargas or not. I think it is. It's another redheaded Vargas girl, but it's just from like her head and upper torso.
So you can't see her socksy socks?
You cannot see her socksy socks.
Oh,
no.
Dang. Okay.
I think it's a flower. Yeah, she's holding a flower. She's spooning a flower in this.
Oh,
incredible. Yeah. So that's the origin of the monitor mix.
Okay. Are you going to tell how you got your little paws on them?
No, because we've talked about that. I figure if people want to know that story, they can go to your blog and check it out. You've posted it many times. So, yeah, it's a long story.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll post a link yet again for the newbies that might not know that I have a blog.
Yeah. Yes. Did you know Donna has a blog? Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. So going down the on that, we've got all these things we're planning on posting and so forth. But one thing I will do is I will post pictures, that the pictures that I took of the cases, of the actual tapes themselves.
Oh, good.
And everybody can see those. That's one thing I made sure. I think I got like maybe two good shots with me like holding them, because my wife was taking those pictures, and she's just not a picture taker. But then I really made the point of getting good pictures of the case and the tapes and so forth, because one, I'd never get that chance again, and two, I just wanted to put them away because I was afraid something was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So I'll post those too.
Okay.
So we've got 13 cuts on the monitor mixes.
Yes.
The song titles are handwritten on the label along with everything else. There was a side 1 and a side 2, which I found very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That they were even thinking at that point in time, how are we going to set this album up? Well, we're definitely going to start with this song, and I think we might end with this song, and this is going to be our side 1 stuff. This is going to be our side 2 stuff.
Yeah.
So starting out with side 1, we have these song titles remind me of Poor BB. It's like alternative song title.
Yeah.
No, not Let's Go. It's Nightlife, baby. The Nightlife, baby. Clocked in at 3:35. The time's listed on. I feel like I'm talking too much, Donna.
No, I'm loving it. Go for it. Well, so are you going to go through and just read all the titles?
I was just going to read them as we went through them, but yeah, I can.
Well, because the one thing that I thought was interesting is, so the photograph I have is where the two cases are together and they're one's overlapping the other, so I can't see side 2 as much.
Oh.
But I can see that it looks like at the bottom, that's it, and You Can't Hold On Too Long are written in a red pen, like they were.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they were
Yeah.
afterthoughts or.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought
Like
that
they
was
were
interesting.
additions. Okay, let's put these in here too.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. Let me go through and just say them all. On case number 1, side 1, they have Nightlife Baby. The next song, One Too Many Times. The reason why I laugh at these is it reminds me of my wife. How cute she is when she tries to tell me, was that Cars song? It's My Party.
That's right.
Third song, Since I Held You, Double Life, Shooby Doo, which is spelled S-H-U, shoo, E, like the insect bee, and then do, D-O-O, and then Candio. And then, and by the way, it says the speed on these is 15, which means nothing.
I know, right?
On side 2, and what's funny is I need to look at this a little bit closer, but you can obviously see where they wrote on the label for side 2 and then erased.
Okay.
So like right above where Night Spots is written, you can see where Night Spots was written before and it's been erased. And then right in between Night Spots and the second one listed, Slip Away, you can see where something was written and then erased. Right? And what looked like Slip Away. So it looks like maybe they started on the wrong line or something. Like, oh, I can't start there. And they erased it and back to this. So they have a space between side 2 and the first song. Anyway, so side 2 is Night Spots, Slip Away, Lust for Kicks, Kicks spelled K-I-X.
See, just like the cereal, just like the ad that you did, or that was made.
Sponsored by Lust for Kicks cereal. Got Out of My Head, Dangerous Type, and then in red, That's It, no time listed for it, and then You Can't Hold On Too Long. And they, whoever was writing that, boy, they got pessimistic because that writing goes down at the end.
Oh, does it?
They already had the total written there, so they had to, make it go under the total so they didn't write over it.
Oh, I see. Huh. Yeah, I wonder what the thought process was there. If they were just like record, okay, let's run through all of our songs, and then we're like, oh, we have a couple others in the can. Let's just throw those. Let's just play those too, and just we'll just in case.
Yeah. And it's interesting that both of them made it. That's It, ended up being a B-side, and You Can't Hold On Too Long.
Right.
The interesting part of all of these tracks is that, as you said, this is a dry run through. They're getting their levels down. And so a majority, or maybe all of them, I think, don't have background vocals
right
in there, which is really fun when you're listening to them. A lot of them don't have Elliot's solos in there. And there's interesting ways that they kind of keep things going with little, vocalizations to go with the beat and so forth. Yeah. And then you have alternative musical parts. You have alternative lyrics that are in there. So it's like a whole new album in itself. Really, it's a different kind of experience than what you get when you obviously listen to the studio album.
Right.
And I treat it just like another album of the Cars. It sounds like I feel like listening to monitor mixes. Right. And because I know it's a different kind of experience.
Yeah, for sure. And I always wonder how much of it they had like Elliot solos, because they played some of these songs they played in '78. Like at Musicladen, they played Since I Held You and some of the other ones. So that they already had an idea for his parts, but they just hadn't recorded them on these mixtapes. But I wonder how much of the other songs were we already know what we're doing, we're just not recording them at this moment, versus we don't know what we're going to do right there. Like for example, do you want to go in order, or can I just jump in?
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say with Since I Held You, Rick sang the whole thing solo instead of having the part where Ben comes in on that second verse at the beginning, and that kind of thing.
Oh,
So
the line "Since I Held You" isn't even in the song because that's a background vocal. He just says it's been a long time, and that's where he stops singing. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, actually, I was talking about how in the second verse, I won't forget the way you said, it doesn't bother me much. And in the album version, Ben comes in, they both sing that together. But in this mix, he just sings it by himself.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were referring to the chorus, which is kind of a fun little part because when you're listening to it as a listener, he's saying, it's been a long time, and then nothing because there's no background vocals. So you as the listener in your car or whatever have to do this "Since I Held You."
I think I just do. I think I never really noticed that in the chorus that it doesn't say that because what you're saying to me is a surprise. I'm just like, wow, really? It just must be so ingrained in my brain that I think I hear it even if I don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. Well, see, it's with all these songs, Donna, there isn't any song. No, I'll say all of them with the exception of "Lust for Kicks." If I have my music library on shuffle, and let's say if "Since I Held You" from Monitor Mixes comes on, I can tell it's from the Monitor Mixes. There's that much of a difference.
Okay.
"Lust for Kicks" comes on. The only way I can tell it's from the Monitor Mix version because they're so similar is because it's longer than the studio album one. But the other ones you can pick out right away because of the vocal inflections, the singing, or the way the song starts out, how many layers are in it, and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So with all of them, without the background vocals, that's interesting. But you hear those things yourself.
I know.
And the funny thing is, like with "Nightlife Baby," the song "Let's Go" is, she's driving away, and I can't even begin to think how it's different. But like he goes down with the ending of the lines as opposed to up.
Right.
So because she's 17, but she won't give up, and where they went with she won't give up. So it's those kind of variations. But when I'm listening to that song, I try to sing it like the studio album version, and it messes me up. I can't do it. I have to go with how it's being sung on the Monitor Mixes in order to sing along with it. It's interesting. It's all I can do has a lot of variation.
Yes.
In the vocals, and Greg's keys, God bless him. They're so awesome with the absence of Elliot's lead guitar parts. They're not there, so you can just hear those glorious keys.
Yes.
That you now know that Greg Hawkes didn't really care for this.
I know.
And he broke my heart, Greg Hawkes.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the one lyric variation I can remember, and it's all I can do. It's once in a moment, and then on the Honor Mix it's once in a dream.
Yeah.
And you can just tell it's just a matter of now we need 2 syllables there, man. What can we change to?
Well, it's interesting.
Nightmare.
A nightmare.
Once in a nightmare. Well, it sounds good, but I don't want to go with nightmare. How about moment?
Dark.
Okay.
It's interesting because Ben's change in vocal inflection really changes the whole tone of the song. With "Nightlife Baby," it doesn't have quite the electricity to it that the final version did, or the cheerleader-ish quality almost. Because he just sounds a little less excited about it.
Yeah.
When he's singing it.
Well, and then also the absence of the hand claps.
Well, yeah.
It's something you don't think about, until later. You think, there weren't any hand claps there, but that leads a lot to the excitement of that song.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But when he goes, "Let's go," is different than "Let's
Yeah.
go" kind of thing.
But you're right. It's All I Can Do is a much more somber song on the monitor mixes because he is going down. His voice is going down at the end of each lyric.
Right. But the difference too there is, I think, for One Too Many Times, he doesn't have that longing type of emotion in his voice like he does in the studio version. It doesn't feel quite as plaintive and because it's more like, in a way, it's more like he's just singing it, where on the studio version you feel like he's really expressing something. I don't know. It just
I think RTB gave Ben a pep talk
he might
before they
have.
went in.
Yeah, maybe there's a story between the monitor mix and the final version that made them all hate the song. What do you think Roy did to just push them over the edge?
I think Roy had nicknames for everybody. It just rubbed everybody the wrong way. It's like, hey, what's the name of that show that Ben did as a kid? Upbeat? Was that it?
Yeah.
Hey, Upbeat. Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Like, get your vocals upbeat. Let's get going.
Listen, Stretch, back off on the rhythm guitar.
Hey, Loaf, I need you to come in a little early.
Oh my God.
Rubbed them all the wrong way.
That is awesome. Make way for Professor Keys. We want to hear a little more of that, Greg. Turn it up.
Professor Keys. Did you ever notice that really Dave Robinson is the only guy we really don't make fun of a whole lot?
I know.
Can we just chalk it up that besides those freaking boots that I've made mention of just recently,
yes,
he is probably the coolest car. I'm sorry. You can't make fun of him.
Well, he has the benefit of hiding behind his drums. He's just,
Yes, he does.
He escapes our radar because he's sort of tucked away back there. We'll have to think of some good things to.
You know what, though? I'll be honest, though. When you think about it, Dave and Ben are the coolest cars. But I think we give Ben a lot of crap, not because of Ben, but because of the Orbots.
Right.
It comes off that way. We'll make more fun of the don't you dare say anything about Ben kind of attitude, which is what leads us in that direction. But yeah.
Well, we like to make fun of
it makes you wonder if there was.
Sorry. We like to make fun
that
of.
was a convoluted. But so was that.
Okay, stop talking for a minute. We like to make fun of Dave around Christmas time because he's Mall Santa. He's given us more fodder in his later years than he was, during the Cars heyday.
True. Hey, by the way, I heard he's putting out an album, and it's just going to be the sounds of his hands.
Like knuckles cracking and what?
Could be. However he wants to portray the warmth.
The warmth. Like little fire crackling noises.
Yeah. Well, his hands actually make that sound. Hey, isn't that the guy? You remember that?
Remember what?
Remember that? The fire crackling sound?
No, I don't think I picked up on that while I was there. I'm sure I was too busy, brushing my hair and.
Well, he melted your ice cream from afar. You didn't want any.
I know. I had to throw it out.
Oh my God, Dave. I can't ice cream. My stomach's hurting. That is Dave Robinson. Wait, man. You've already freaking met him once. What is your problem?
It's a little scary how accurate that interpretation is of what actually happened.
Well, that's what was blowing me away. It's like, it's the second freaking time you've met him.
I know, but it was still David Robinson.
Is in Rockport and not Cleveland.
Do you remember him just sitting on that bench, just all casual? He's all laid back on that with his Starbucks coffee thing.
He is the coolest car.
He's so cool.
He called me out, me I'm glad nobody was around for that one because I'm just waiting for you guys standing out there. He's sitting up there with, I can't remember the guy's name now, and all of a sudden he just yells at me, "Hey, here a guy from the Cars runs this business." I'm like, yeah.
He is such a badass.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Julie, how awesome is that he basically invited you to dialogue with him instead of like going in the shop and closing the door. You know,
exactly.
like that he was just so open and like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm available. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Commented on the Night Thoughts logo and really liked it.
Yes, he did really like it. Yeah. Thanks to what's his name? Lumberjack Nick.
Lumberjack Nick, our buddy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
All
good
right.
stuff.
Right, back to the monitor mix.
Yeah. Okay. So, where were we?
We're still on. Well, we're kind of still on side one, but
yes.
Double Life. You know, when I said that, you know, they don't have any lead guitar parts, so I love it.
Yes.
In Double Life, when instead of doing the Elliott lead part, which isn't in there, you've got Rick vocalizing, and it's mercy, and then it's give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. I mean, that is gold, man. It's gold.
Really is so much the best. That's along the lines of the Shake It Up demo that they released when you can just hear them being goofy and, you know, relaxed and whatever. I mean, to have Rick just doing something like that so off the cuff and weird is so awesome.
I wonder if anybody peed their pants when he did that Mercy. You know, they're trying to get through the song. He's Mercy. Because suppressed laughter is the best laughter. Damn it, Rick!
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's some good stuff. Oh boy. Yeah, that's my favorite. In fact, because you know that's not generally one of my favorite songs, but that elevates it for sure.
Yeah. So, Shooby Doo, and I never noticed this before, but the guy from the blog, let me re-say his name again, willfully obscure .blog.com. He talks about how Shooby Doo is like half the time that it is on the studio album. It's listed as a minute and a half here, which I've never noticed it before, but this is one of those one of the songs in the monitor mixes that conceivably is not the best quality just because Rick may have been stepping away from the microphone at certain points and the lead vocals kind of fade in and out. Maybe he was planning it that way. I don't know, but it's one of those, like, it's very low. Candy O, Ben's vocals are kind of low in certain parts.
Right.
Or he might not stepped up there and it may have been adjusting levels or whatever.
Right. Is it really that much shorter? I'm gonna look.
I don't know. iTunes doesn't show the time on it, so I can check.
On YouTube, the studio version is actually 10 seconds longer. It's a minute 39, and on the monitor mix, it's a minute 29.
Huh. Well, I guess maybe it isn't. Who knows? But they did have that spelling change in there too. But the weird thing about Shooby Doo is that it fades out, and you're so used to have it going boom straight into Candy O.
Right.
It's Shooby Doo on a fade out. But then again, anytime you have you're shuffling your music and Shooby Doo comes up, it really sucks because you know it's not going to go into Candy O after that. Something that doesn't even fit, you know?
Right. Yeah, and he had that little lyric change in this one too. In Shooby Doo, he said you ride around in your daddy's car as opposed to cadmium car, whatever he ends up saying.
Cadbury. He was
Cadbury egg.
He was working on some Easter promotion during that time.
Right.
And he sell out a cassock, right? He's always looking for an angle. So on Candy O, there's also kind of a different guitar configuration, or maybe it's a little bit loud, or not as loud in the studio version that you can notice. But it's these two songs that when I was thinking about, and we'll get into this more later, but thinking about why wouldn't they want these to be released in some kind of Rhino thing, is always my thought that the quality of those two songs kind of takes away from it. Just, and the vocals being low. But surely they could fix that, if they were going to release it.
Right.
And the fact that there isn't any background vocals or of Elliot's solos. But then again, come on, you got to shake it up demo.
Yeah.
I mean, am I right?
I was just going to say, yeah, they've released other demos. Well, even like the early version of Night Spots that they released on the anthology. I mean, you've got different demos out there that are lacking Elliot's solo, so that can't be a deal breaker.
It might be just that these came along too late in the game, as far as with the Rhino releases and so forth.
Well,
when you think about it. But they had the chance. It was all there before they did the Candy-O thing, but I know we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Side 2.
Okay, wait.
We've got.
Did you just finish with Candy-O? Is that all you're
Yeah.
gonna say?
Did you?
Well, the only thing I wanted
Where do you want me to?
I was going to point out in talking about the evolution of a song, in the early versions of Candy-O, Ben has that little extra line, of for this or Bellissimo, or he's used different things there. And then in this monitor mix version, he gets to Candy-O, I need you so, but, and then he doesn't sing the rest of it. He just says but, like twice. Like, it made me think like they said, okay, let's not add that part in there. But then he forgot and was like, but, and then he's like, oops, didn't finish the line or something, I don't know. But of course.
Hey, once Ben had it committed to memory, it was hard to get it out.
Yeah. And so they, of course, on the studio version, they end up not having that line in there at all. So I just thought that was interesting, step by step, to see how that sort of transformed.
Well, a good segue being Candy-O and Night Spots are two songs that they played a lot during their first tour. And all the different versions of both of these songs with the lyrics. With Night Spots, it's the kinky hair, curly hair, blonde hair,
right, bald
head, whatever, all the different, whatever, came into Rick's mind, when he was singing live. It's just interesting. And I couldn't even begin to tell you what it is on Night Spots on the monitor mix.
It's kinky hair.
Kinky hair? Can you hear it in your head? Are you that much of a savant, Donna?
Yeah.
When I say Night Spots, Northern Studios version 1, that you can play it in your head.
It says curly in the Northern Studios version. Actually,
So you are.
I wrote
You're
it down.
like our little Panorama Rain.
No. Panorama Rain Man. I don't want that nickname. No, I just wrote it down.
Definitely curly hair. Definitely. Not pitiful kinky hair.
Pitiful red. Oh my gosh, that was good. No, I just happened to write it down because I noticed it too, and that's one of my favorite things about that song is that in different live versions and stuff, Rick always changes it up. So
yeah,
I just made a note of it. Pitiful red.
Pitiful. There are some variations in the keyboard, very keyboarding in Night Spots too.
Yeah, and that song's come a long way since the very early version that was recorded with the debut album. That's just that we use as our opening theme. Boy, there's quite a transformation.
what's really weird is that when it comes to the end of it, this is kind of like Shooby-Doo, where you're expecting that bird tweet segue
Mm-hmm.
into You Can't Hold On Too Long. And you get to this and it's nothing. Where it just kind of throws you off for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we go into Slip Away.
Slip Away. Now this, so get this. I can't remember if the anthology, no, I do remember. The anthology came out first
Mm-hmm.
before we got to listen to these monitor mixes.
Mm-hmm.
So the crazy thing is, we had that version of Slip Away, which is essentially finished.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think they listed it as a demo. I'm not sure, but it sounds finished to me. But the monitor mix is, it is what it is. So I mean, they're not the same recording. It's the
Right.
monitor version of Slip Away, and then you got the anthology version of Slip Away. And it just makes me wonder if Slip Away got to the point where they finished it, they planned to have it on Candy-O, and then they scrapped it to not have it on there.
So in the anthology, I have the book in front of me here, and it lists Slip Away as a 24-track demo recorded late 1978/early 1979 Boston. That's the anthology version, which sounds so complete, but that would have been before, especially if they recorded it in Boston. That's not the Cherokee. That's not a Cherokee, recording. So then they went. So when they went to Cherokee to do Candy-O, it sounds like they revived Slip Away again.
Okay, so there's the answer.
And then, but then they, obviously they must have scrapped it again, because then they gave it to Ian Lloyd, who released it in '79, sometime in '79.
It's a shame too, because hearing this song for the first time, I was like, why did you not put this on an album? That's one of those tracks that should have been on an album. It might not have gone Candy-O or whatever they felt, but still, it's a great song for the Cars.
Yeah, I agree, and I've grown to love it more. I didn't used to pay that much attention to it, but then especially in listening again, because I listened to the anthology version, then I listened to this version, and just to get it increases my appreciation each time I visit it. And I can't tell which version I like better, honestly, because this version on the monitor mix has extra little flourishes and different synth things from Greg, and I mean it's missing some of, like, I think there's hand claps at the beginning of the anthology version that are missing here, and that kind of thing. So I can't decide. I can't decide which one I like better.
The Lust for Kicks, as I said, is this monitor mix version is much longer. I don't know if it's much longer. Let me see. It has 3:35. Okay. So what is it? Do they have handy what?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
It is
3:48.
A studio album is 3:48.
Well, here's the 3:58 on the remastered version.
Wow. So
4:25 on the monitor mix is what it says on here.
So in my head, the monitor mix version is longer, but what it must be, and there's probably some music people out there who can verify this for me, it's probably arranged a lot differently or something. The ending of it is different, where they just go through the lust for kicks, the ending part, but that's just where they're saying it over and over. Right. And then you got a point where Rick's going, lust for kicks. It's like he's doing a commercial, right?
I love it.
For kicks.
I love it so much. I love his ad-libs at the end. Because it makes me think of a child. By just trying different vocal things and saying it differently.
Hey, love for kicks.
I love it so much.
The lust for kicks, hamana, hamana, hamana.
good stuff. You know, and it's little things like that, and him saying mercy in the middle of Double Life and stuff. That you just know they must have just had so much fun, so much fun.
And then, on Got a Lot on My Head, you've got doing the primal scream, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome. And, you know, like you said, he takes advantage of, you know, of course, Elliot's solo would go in there at some point, but since it's not, just why not fill the void? So then we go into Dangerous Type, which, again, that has some different lyrics in it.
Yes. I'm live on your star.
Yeah, and instead of geranium lover, you're uranium lover.
Yes. You know, Rick, uranium, I don't know, it comes off a little bit scary. Can we get something that is scary? Oh, geranium? Or aluminum?
Aluminum lover. That would have been awesome.
Aluminum lover.
The other thing that stood out to me was Greg has some sort of little like doorbell sound going on during the chorus that I thought was really cute.
No, I haven't noticed that. I'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah, check that part out. And then of course, this is one song that I for sure am so glad that they put Elliot's solo in there, and because the segue from Elliot's solo transitioning into that last verse with Greg's keyboards is one of my all-time favorite things in the Cars, and so I really missed not having that in there. That's so noticeable to me.
Yeah. So that takes us to That's It, which, think about it. What a great end of an album song.
Mm-hmm.
Of the album. That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
No more.
This, of course, ended up being a B-side instead of actually making it on the album.
Yes.
But I love Ben's vocals in this version. He has so much more swagger and attitude to me in this version.
And this is another one that's so much fun to listen to and sing along with because the background vocals being missing,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, you can fill in.
Well, that's it. Well, that's it.
The thing that's missing is also that stood out to me is Greg's that little sound that's like a rattlesnake tail sound.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't think of what that's called, but that leaves a noticeable gap.
Yes. Yeah. It's made with that instrument we have no name for.
Right.
I know what it looks like. I could draw a picture of it. I have no idea what it's called.
Yeah. And do you have anything else to say about that one, or else
No.
The last one is You Can't Hold On Too Long, which I love the different vocals on this one. Compared to the studio album, Ben is so snarky in this version. And I love it. Yes.
I like the drumstick count in, too.
Yes. Yeah.
But then, you know, I don't know if they originally planned that, but then the segue that they have on the studio album kind of takes it away, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, you know, the Cars. Are there any songs where they ever did a drum count into it? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So I wonder if that was just in the studio thing.
Who knows? But I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. At the very end, in Ben's vocals, when he's ad-libbing his way out, he does one growly line that, is really good.
I'm not sure, but I think he adds some lyrics. Like, for example, you're feeling cross and wavy on the edge of the cuff, and he puts in your.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling cross and wavy, you're on the edge of the cuff. And on the studio album, which is, they're cutting those out. I think there's an and that he puts in there, too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
On there. That's noticeable. But that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they tightened it up for that final version a lot. You know,
that is the music lingo. They tightened it up.
They tightened it up. And kind of toned him down a little bit, and sort of put him back in the box a little, I think.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was also a Roy Thomas conversation.
Yeah. Hey, upbeat.
Yeah,
Yo, just tone it down a little bit.
that's right. Scale it back. Scale it back, grasshopper.
Yeah, background. Where's your shoes? Where's your shoes? Where's your green fucking shoe?
Oh, I love how he all of a sudden came from New York.
As RTB, that wasn't my impersonation of RTB doing an impersonation of a New Yorker.
There you go. Oh yeah, I
But
forgot.
hey, to be a little bit high, hey, where's your green fucking shoes?
Yeah, I forgot we hadn't been doing our normal Roy Thomas Baker impression.
Yeah.
Oh, I say, Grasshopper, that's quite exciting, but I'm going to need you to just tone that down a little bit.
I was thinking about, and I don't know if I speak for anybody else or not, but the monitor mixes are important to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're important to me because it's history. It's part of an evolution of an album, evolution of the song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of interesting for me to hear all those, beginnings and what they left in and what they took out, and just getting the beginnings of these songs.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I treat it like a whole separate album.
Yeah.
It's like hearing a moment in time. When I listen to this, it's like in my head, I can kind of see them in the studio. Kind of wondering, knowing that they're playing it live. They're doing it together as a band,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It just hits me a certain way. And I don't know if everybody feels that way about it or not, but that's why it's important to me.
Yeah.
Which is also why I talked about earlier about, Rhino dropping the ball. These weren't possibly out at the right time for them to use them, but then they were. I mean, OK Management had these recordings in their possession well before Rhino did their expanded edition. But then again, they didn't want to go back and do a deluxe edition like they did with the debut. But this would have been perfect for that.
Right.
To do that too. It's almost like they owe us a Candio deluxe, just like they did with the debut, and professionally released monitor mix.
Because, okay, so you're right. They did have them. They put a couple of them on the Candio Expanded Edition. But, so I wonder if they were thinking, as they're looking at the project as a whole, the reissuing of the back catalog with the expanded editions, knowing that they would not, well, seemingly, they would not be able to do that with Panorama. They would not be able to do that with Shake It Up. If they had to kind of say, okay, we have to even this out so that, somewhere along the line, maybe fans are going to be disappointed, but we need a uniformity to the way we're going to do these expanded editions.
I'm just kind of contending that if Cars Management would have had these recordings in their hands during the time that they were releasing the debut deluxe, or maybe a little bit, I think they would have gone ahead and done a Candio the same way. Because it sold. I assume the deluxe version of the debut sold. And, why pass it up? From a business standpoint, having these recordings and putting two of them on the expanded edition, it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think these music types understand how much of their potential earnings are being taken away by people putting these recordings out on the internet and allowing people to just listen to them straight up, like on YouTube or whatever, or download them. When if they professionally release something people will still buy it. They want the professional version. They want them remixed. They want the liner notes. They want, physical vinyl or physical CD. I mean, how freaking cool, Donna, would it be to have this on vinyl? Have a vinyl edition of this with those great big, and people will see this when I post them, to have these great big cases on an album.
Yeah.
Pictures of the cases. And, I would say, I don't know how big a vinyl album is. It's probably about 18 by 18. I'm going to assume, I'm going to take a guess.
Yeah,
just from
maybe
memory.
12 by 12, maybe.
Okay. So I'm going to say that these tape cases that these came in were as big as an album or bigger. Maybe I'm off on that. But, so, I mean, it would just be perfect. It would be so cool to do that. It would be fan service.
I know. I'm trying to think through the business side of it. Because, of course, it costs money to do all of that. And would they sell enough to really make it profitable for them? But then I'm thinking about, because, the Rick Solo, what was just re-released? By Beatitude, where that company that did that indicated that they really didn't sell. They just really didn't sell that well. But of course, that's Rick Solo as opposed to the Cars, who have 1 million followers on Facebook. But like when they did the Live at the Agora album, and just had a limited edition for Record Store Day. I mean, they could do something like that. Those 5,000 sold sold like hotcakes, and then have them available digitally if people, didn't get a vinyl one. They could do something like that, I guess. Yeah. Yes.
The reason why I don't like that though is that limited edition kind of feel, and I think everybody who wants one should be able to get one.
Yeah.
Can they think about it? When I did that Live at the Agora at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they had to borrow somebody's copy in order to play the vinyl.
Right.
Because they were so limited.
Right.
Because there were like 5,000.
Yeah,
is 5, what they had.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that bothers me on that point. But I just encourage people, if you haven't listened to the monitor mixes, do so. And at this point in time, the management had them in their hands. And they kind of dropped the ball with releasing these. The only way to get them is to download them off the internet or download them from YouTube and do the thing,
Right. Do you think that they can press vinyl on demand? I wonder.
I don't know.
Because you can order books on demand, and
Eric Barrow did the thing just recently.
Huh.
It's funny. I don't know if Eric listens to it every time or not, but little seats for Eric. It's kind of funny. I ordered one of those. He did it for, I can't remember what charity he did it for, but God bless him. He did each one individually, and I don't have a turntable. I'm gonna get this thing. It's like, hey, I wonder what's on here. I wonder what personal note Eric. I have no clue. Maybe I think what Eric will do, because he's this kind of a guy, darn well he's kept all the audio files. He had to send the audio files to them to do this, so I bet you he'll get me the digital file so I can listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
one more thought. Do you remember how we learned that the Cars recorded Panorama in New York first, and then they didn't like how it turned out, so they ended up going to Cherokee and starting over?
Yeah.
So where are those tapes?
Exactly. And you think about it, if that was just the way they did it, and knowing that they had the same producer, same recording studio, okay, let's get those monitor mixes going. What were they going to do with them now? I'll put them down in storage. They had to be. They
Right?
had to exist. What
Yeah.
happened to them? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they were stolen and sold not on eBay. Maybe someone went, oh, the car's Panorama, and snagged it when, an employee or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he got them in his vault. Maybe Roy's got them in the desert. I don't know.
Desert. Buried him.
Along with a 40-track machine.
Yeah.
Picture.
Just picture him out there with his shirt tied around his head in the hot sun, just digging away, just ticked off for whatever reason. I've had it.
We got old Obi
Yeah.
Roy in the desert. He's this crazy old man with a 40-track mixer.
And a shovel.
And a shovel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good episode. I like talking about those.
Yeah.
It's just part of Cars history.
I
Get
agree.
them, people. Listen to them. If you take the time to listen through this podcast, even bits at a time, take the time to listen all the way through the moniker mixes.
Yeah.
You just have to. It's incredible.
And like you said, we'll post a playlist on the Night Thoughts group.
Yep.
That has all
All
this
that stuff.
Yeah.
So before we go, hey, speaking of Eric Barrow,
Yeah.
I'll give a big shout out to Eric on his home confinement tour.
Mm.
For those of you who don't know, every week for the past 9 weeks, he's been doing a little mini concert of about 5 songs. And, Eric, dude, seriously, if he understood how many nights he took my anxiety away doing this. Well, I guess how many Saturday nights or Sunday nights he took my anxiety away. I mean, plug in the AirPods, put it on, and just listen.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that believes that everybody has a purpose in this world, and I think that's just one of Eric Barrow's purposes, is getting people through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think it's such a cool thing to do for him to, just put that out there for people. And, I don't know how many listeners he got or how many people looked at or how many views or whatever. I wouldn't even think about that. Just the fact that, they helped me. It's all about me. They helped me. That's why for me, it's all about me.
Well,
and just think about that. It's just that I know he's got some hardcore fans that are even separate from the Cars and the Cautions and things like that, but I know they appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that Eric would feel this way, that lots of us, you're a good person and you do a lot of good things for people and for children and that kind of thing. And, we feel like when we're helping people, if we've helped just one person, it's totally worth it, so you laughing about it being all about you, but if you're the only one that he helped, I'm sure he would feel that was all worthwhile.
Well, I mean, I know for a fact that our buddy BB, Bertonio Silovici, listens and looks forward to our podcast. And if he's the only person who's listening to us, go through it, talk about what we talk about. Fine, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get hung up on views and things like that. It's just, hey, it's nice that we give people something to do.
Yeah.
Especially during this time.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. So episode.
I have a letter for the
Sorry.
midnight.
I'm gonna edit that out. All right, go ahead, Donna.
I have a letter for the Midnight Scroll.
Awesome. Roll that Midnight Scroll music.
Here we go.
Take me apart 'cause I'm out of control. Send me a letter on the Midnight Scroll.
All right, this is from our good friend, Mr. Alan Fields. And it is in
It's been a while since I heard Alan.
I know.
Probably a year.
I know.
Since we saw him in Boston.
I know. Isn't that crazy? It's coming up on 1 year. I love thinking back over those trips and just how much fun. Okay. Anyway, so Alan wrote in response to the last episode that we did about Benjamin Orr's solo stuff, and here's what he wrote. Enjoyed the Orr solo album episode. Fun discussion. I have to share my theory on Too Hot to Stop. I think this is Ben writing about his relationship with Rick, especially after the Heartbeat City mega success. I wanted to ask Diane Gray Page about that when I saw her in Boston during the book event, but never got the chance. I know Diane wrote the lyrics, but I think she was putting Ben's frustration with Rick into writing. I mean, check out these lines. You make it so hard getting through to ya. It's not the time for throwaway. Just like it's all something new to ya, you can hang on or run away. It's about time you told me what you wanted. It's about time. It's about time. Yeah. Sorry. Keep it in mind, or it's back to where we started.
I get this visual of Ben singing this to Rick. And him just like, in like one of those cheesy musicals. Yeah. You told me what you wanted, and turning away. Well, Ben grabs him by the arm. It's about time.
That's the music video concept that should have happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, he finishes, let's see, there's a lot on the line. Oh, it's back to where we started. It's about time, and maybe I don't care. I think he sings, or it's back to where we started. Cleveland, he says. Or I could be totally wrong. That's what Alan wrote.
Mm. Yeah, it's very insightful.
Yeah, I thought that didn't seem way off the boards. I thought that was an interesting theory.
Yeah, very.
Because it was after all the Heartbeat City craziness, and tension and whatever.
Yeah. That's just another one of those theories that'll just get Orbots pissed off more, Rick.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So that's it. The end of episode 62.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. Make sure to wash your hands. Stay safe.
Yes.
Don't make us bring in the military.
Oh, yeah. I hate our endings. Stay safe, cheese bags.
That's a good enough ending.
Yeah, all right. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
Jeez. All right, we're out.
Thank you for listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. Wherever you found us, iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Send us an email for the Midnight Scroll at nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. As always, Night Thoughts reserves the right to edit or not read an email on the air. You can follow us on Twitter at The Cars Podcast. Grab yourself a podcast t-shirt at tpublic.com/user/Night Thoughts. All the cool kids are wearing them. Oh, and finally, search for The Cars Night Thoughts on Facebook and join our group page. P.S. I am totally Team Rick.